Hello everyone and welcome to Forensic Extract. And today we'll be studying about Munchausen syndrome. So this syndrome is frequently asked in various entrance examination as well as university examinations, and this is also very important for day-to-day clinics for diagnostic purposes also. So Munchausen syndrome and another variants like Munchausen syndrome by proxy, Munchausen syndrome by internet, and all. So these are the various types of this syndrome. And now in DSM-5 there are different variants of Munchausen syndrome. Different definitions or different names are given to these syndromes. So please do subscribe Forensic Extract and please press the bell icon for getting notifications. So thank you so much. Stay tuned.
Munchausen syndrome. Munchausen syndrome. Now in DSM-5, this syndrome is renamed as facetious disorder imposed on himself or herself. So this is facetious disorder imposed on oneself, or this is known as Munchausen syndrome, that is renamed in DSM-5. And another syndrome that is the variant of Munchausen syndrome, that is Munchausen syndrome by proxy. This syndrome is named as facetious disorder imposed on another. So these are two variants. First is Munchausen syndrome, that is facetious disorder imposed on oneself, and second is Munchausen syndrome by proxy, that is facetious disorder imposed on another. So these are different names in DSM-5. Now basically Munchausen syndrome is a psychiatric illness in which the patient feigns disease or illness. So patient basically feigns any disease or maybe any illness. Basically the motive is to draw attention, or to gain sympathy. So these are the motives of the patient, basically to draw attention or to gain sympathy to himself. Now these patients are going to frequently visit hospitals. That's why these are known as frequent flyers, and also known as hospital hopper syndrome. So this syndrome is also known as hospital hopper syndrome, and these patients are known as frequent flyers because of frequent visits to various hospitals. Now the name, the Munchausen name is derived from Baron Munchausen. He was the person in 1720 to 1797, and this was the person who told many fantastic and impossible adventures about himself. So various stories told by this person, and those stories were fantastic and something that is adventurous about himself. So that's why this name is derived from the name on the basis of this person, Baron Munchausen. Now in 1951, Richard Asher, he was the person who first described a true case of Munchausen syndrome in 1951, and thus the name is given to that syndrome. Now there is some difference between the Munchausen syndrome or the factitious disorder. So in this factitious disorders, there is no as such, there is no motive, and the main target is to gain or draw attention or to gain sympathy. There is no as such motive in this factitious disorder. Now something about malingering. In malingering, there is some motive for any kind of material gain. So there is always some motive for any material gain, or in malingering the person may be having some motive for financial compensation or sick leaves and all. So always there is some material gain, some motive for material gain is there. Now another thing that is known as hypochondriasis, in which person is do not intentionally produce somatic symptoms. The person is not going to produce somatic symptoms intentionally. So symptoms are not produced intentionally in case of hypochondriasis. So this is the basic difference between all the three. Now the Munchausen syndrome by proxy is something that is factitious disorder imposed on another. Now the induced illness by any caregiver, or basically in most of the cases the caregiver is, or the culprit is the mother, and mostly this syndrome is known as induced illness by caregivers, or the pediatric condition falsification. These are another name, pediatric condition falsification or Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Now in this case, the pediatric condition falsification, in which a person deliberately causes injury. So injuries are caused deliberately. Injuries or illnesses to another person, and most often these injuries are caused to his or her own child. So this is a form of extended child abuse. Now it is the attention they seek, and they get gratification from the attention they receive. So the main motive is the attention or to gain sympathy. Now in 1977, Roy Meadow was a professor of pediatrics in England, basically who noticed two extraordinary behavior in two mothers. First mother poisoned her child with excessive salt, and second mother introduced own blood in her child's urine sample. So urine sample was added with her own blood. Now these two cases were studied by Roy Meadow in 1977, and the explanation was given, and that was something that is related to Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Now the epidemiology of Munchausen syndrome. So Munchausen syndrome epidemiology. Now in 90% cases, mother is abuser. In 90% cases, the main abuser or the culprit is mother. Now there may be previous history of self-harming, there may be history of alcohol abuse, and there may be the mothers or the caregivers in most of the cases are having good medical knowledge. So they are having good medical knowledge sort of. Now the sex ratio is equal both in male and female, it is 1:1, it is equal. Age is, this syndrome is can be seen between few weeks of age to 21 years. So it is seen up to 21 years, and it can be that much serious that death can occur in 6% cases. So in 6% cases death can occur, and that can be that much severe. Now how to diagnose? So something about diagnosis. So diagnosis based on the symptoms. Symptoms are basically repeated, unexplained and multiple illnesses. So there is no explanation, unexplained illnesses. Now the symptoms do not correspond with the result of clinical test. So there is no relation, no relation between symptoms. So there is no relation between the symptoms and the clinical test. Now there is no response to treatment. So child basically does not respond to treatment given. Now the perpetrator in most of the cases is very attentive, caring and loving, and basically they dress the child in inappropriate clothings or excessive number of toys filling the hospital room. These are few findings that can be seen while diagnosing a case of Munchausen syndrome. Now these perpetrators are basically very friendly to hospital staff, very friendly to hospital staff. But if someone is countering their findings or their explanation, they may become angry and they may be abusive or the against the hospital staff, or they even cannot tolerate the own views. If someone is going to challenge their own views, they are going to become abusive to hospital staff also. Now similar unexplained illness in the siblings can be seen. So similar history in siblings also. Now the methods of simulation of injuries and illnesses, there are various methods used by mother or various caregivers, like adding of anticoagulants or injecting anticoagulants to produce bleeding, CNS depressants to produce sleep. There may be convulsions to produce seizures. Now various dermal irritants can be applied for rashes and dermatitis. Insulin can be given for hypoglycemia. Various nauseating agent or ipecacuanha can be given for vomiting. Now mothers or the caregivers sometimes can use heating thermometers for fever. or simply infecting wounds with dirt and feces. Now, these are few findings that can be seen while treating a patient of Munchausen syndrome by proxy.
So guys, something is known as Munchausen syndrome by internet. Another variant is Munchausen syndrome by internet, in which the perpetrator is basically uses to seek attention by feigning illnesses in various online platforms. So Munchausen syndrome by internet is another variant. Sometimes the pets may be involved, so Munchausen syndrome by proxy, in which the victim is pet. So these are different variants of Munchausen syndrome. Now, how to diagnose? The criterias given by Rosenberg. So Rosenberg gave 4 diagnostic criterias in 1989. First is the illness produced or alleged or both by a parent. So any illness, whether it is produced or alleged or both by any parent. So this is the first criteria. Now the second criteria is repeated request for medical care of a child leading to multiple medical procedures. So repeated request for any medical procedure. Now the third criteria is parental denial of knowledge of the cause of symptoms. So denial of knowledge for symptoms or the cause of symptoms. So this is third criteria. Now the fourth criteria is regression of symptoms when the child is separated from the perpetrator. So regression of symptoms when the child is separated. So these 4 criterias were given by Rosenberg in 1989. These are the basic diagnostic criteria that are frequently used by various clinicians to diagnose Munchausen syndrome. So guys, this is all about Munchausen syndrome, and please like the video and share, and thank you so much. Keep on watching. Stay tuned.